Hey guys, so it is Sunday, November 29th, 2015, and I am 8 weeks and 3 days pregnant today. I did not expect that I would be waiting so long to do an update for you guys. I debated the first week very heavily because I found out the day I was 4 weeks pregnant whether or not I would update so early. There's a lot of fear for me and my husband because it's so early and because we've had a previous loss and because it's taken us so long to get pregnant this time that I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to come on here and say, hey everybody, I'm pregnant, and then, oh hey everybody, I lost a baby again. You know, I was just very paranoid, and then the other half of me was like, well, what if you do carry this baby full term and you're really gonna regret not, you know, vlogging this or, you know, filming how you felt or your symptoms, you know, you're really gonna regret it if you wait. And then it was just a never-ending battle in my mind of when I was gonna do the update, and mixed with pregnancy symptoms, new job, new schedule change, a whole slew of, you know, outside factors affecting me just coming and sitting down and talking to you guys. And I so apologize for being MIA. I am going to try to go over these last 4 weeks as quickly as possible. They haven't been too eventful. And then hopefully from here on out, I can try to do either a weekly or bi-weekly update for everybody. Not only for like my bump date or my pregnancy updates, but also for other things going on in life as well. I'm still trying to be as low carb as possible for my pregnancy. I have unfortunately not been in ketosis or kind of stuck to a keto diet. That's another thing. Just the fear of like letting people down in that aspect has kind of made me afraid to make videos because I've been having some issues with that, but I will save that for another video. I found out that I was pregnant on October 29th, and that would have made me exactly 4 weeks to the day. My last period was October 1st, so October 29th made exactly 4 weeks to the day. So I have no idea when I ovulated because I wasn't tracking. I don't even remember baby dancing at all to even have conceived. So I was very confused and very unconvinced that I was even pregnant when I missed my period. So there's that. Although I was filled with joy and excitement, fear is probably the biggest emotion that I have felt throughout this entire pregnancy so far. A couple of years ago I did lose a baby. I'm not sure how far along I was because we weren't trying at that time either. It was right after we got married. The doctors think I was around 6 or 7 weeks. So this entire time I have been just mentally trying to get myself past like 6 or 7 weeks, get myself past the point of a chemical pregnancy, celebrating all these tiny milestones, and just praying and hoping till I get to week 12. And I know that even after week 12, things can happen, horrible things can happen. I just try to keep telling myself that there are more women out there having healthy pregnancies and having healthy babies than maybe there are women out there having miscarriages or horrible, unfortunate pregnancies. So I'm just trying to categorize myself in the positive, happy, healthy pregnancy, happy, healthy 9 months category, and try to keep my stress levels down as much as possible. One thing that has also kept me scared for the past 8 weeks is that I have having a relatively enjoyable pregnancy so far. I have had a lot of nausea, a lot of bloating, gas, a little bit of constipation, but my boobs aren't killing me. They aren't hurting, they aren't swollen, they aren't heavy. I have some days where they are more tender than other days, but there hasn't been a huge significant change in my breasts, so that has always made me paranoid. I've had a lot of nausea this past week, and then now that I'm in week 8, it's been more intense these past 2 weeks or week and a half than it has from the beginning, but it's something that I always suspected that I would have like since the time I found out I was pregnant. So the fact that I wasn't puking and feeling horrible was, you know, a negative sign to me, not like, hey, enjoy this, because some women are like puking their guts up right now. So as far as week 4, I had really bad cold symptoms, stuffy nose, runny nose. It was like my allergies were on like high alert. And I've heard about this symptom many times, like at Baby Center and other pregnancy blog sites or 2-week wait, early symptom type of things. You always hear about people feeling like they're getting a cold in their 2-week wait and then finding out they're pregnant. That was me. The first like 2 weeks of my pregnancy, I thought I legitimately had a cold. It was so miserable. My nose was always stomped up. And then my other major symptom was cramping. I cramped from the time I was supposed to get my period, which was like a Sunday, Monday. I had cramping, I had brown spotting, which I would probably say was implantation bleeding. I cramped that entire week until they found out I was pregnant. I cramped all the way until about 6.5 weeks. And it was very scary. You Google it, it says it's completely normal. You're supposed to cramp, you're supposed to have heaviness, you're supposed to have round ligament pain, your uterus is stretching and growing. You're supposed to feel all of this. But to me, I associate cramping and pain with I'm gonna lose my baby. So it was very scary for me. I had a lot of times where I would sit down and relax, and as soon as I would stand up, my uterus would just start pulsing and cramping. Sometimes to the point I'd have to like grab onto something and hold it. And to me, that was completely terrifying. So now the cramps have subsided, and occasionally I get achy there, and I can feel that my uterus is very big and swollen. So it's just, if you're cramping and you're in your first couple of weeks of pregnancy, it's totally normal. I had brown spotting. I even had a night, 4 weeks, 6 days. And I wrote this down because I had been cramping all day really bad. I went to the bathroom and there was red blood. And I just went to my room and I cried for like 2 hours. My husband held me and I cried and cried and cried. And you know, like, why can't I have a baby? Why can't you be pregnant? I thought that that was the end of my pregnancy. So luckily it was not. I don't have written down what day I had my first HCG done, but I believe it was 5 weeks, some days, whatever. It was the middle of my 5th week. And so I had an HCG test done, and the hospital was having technical issues, could not get my numbers back to me. I went 48 hours later, had my second done, and they immediately gave me my HCG results for my second test. And then I didn't find out till the next week what my first results were. So I didn't have the two numbers to compare to. So 1,009, and then my second number was 2,192. So it had a little bit more than doubled. My progesterone, I think, was like a 24.9 or 29.4. It was really high, really well. Oh, and to kind of backtrack for a second, I had found out I was pregnant on a Thursday. The next day, on Friday, I called my doctor's office. They called me in a prescription for progesterone, 200 milligrams, the suppositories, and I've been putting those in every night before bed since I was 4 weeks, one day. So I had good progesterone numbers for being on progesterone. Week 5, lots of fatigue. That's when the fatigue really kicked in. A little bit more brown spotting, lots more cramping, and then that's when the frequent urination started. I started a new job the following Monday of me finding out that I was pregnant, and I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's an 8-hour-a-day job, and I went from going to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning to getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning. And then as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I immediately stopped consuming caffeine. So no more coffee or soda, tea, no caffeine. So switching my sleeping schedule, work schedule drastically, almost a complete 180, to being pregnant and having fatigue naturally and quitting caffeine all at once. My fatigue has been extreme, and that's another excuse I have for not posting videos. Week 6, when I was 6 weeks one day, I had an ultrasound, an early ultrasound, to kind of eliminate me being high risk. And I measured exactly 6 weeks one day. The heartbeat was 120 per minute, and they measured me at 3 centimeters. I'm not sure if that is the baby measured at 3 centimeters or if the sac measured at 3 centimeters. I'm not 100% sure, but we did get some pictures from that. If you can see, little baby next to the yolk sac. I think this one has an arrow pointing, maybe. So we got our little pictures and we framed it because we kept touching them so much and it was messing them up. So I had the ultrasound, everything went well, lots of reassurance. My husband was there with me. As soon as she put the wand in, I seen the sac and then I seen the heartbeat fluttering. So it was lots of relief. And along in the 6th week, fatigue, lots of dizziness, lightheadedness. My blood pressure has been pretty low since I found out I was pregnant. I think that might be attributing to the dizziness. And then that week with the dizziness, my nausea started. Week 7, lots of peeing. That is like my #1 most annoying symptom. I don't mind it so much during the day, but when I only sleep like 6 hours a night and when 3 o'clock in the morning comes so early, getting up 3, sometimes 4 times in the night to go pee and having to fall back asleep is like the most frustrating thing. No cramping in week 6 and no cramping in week 7. Lots of bloating, lots of gas, lots of like uterus aching but not cramping, and then tons of nausea. It comes in waves. I have really weird food aversions. I'll probably wait till next week's update to kind of talk to you about my like sensory and aversion type things that are associated with my nausea, because that's going to take a little bit of explaining, and the video is already dragging on pretty long. So no vomiting though. I've been very lucky to not be throwing up. My sister-in-law is also pregnant. She is only 4 days ahead of me. She's due July 3rd. I'm due July 7th. So we both found out like the same day together, or I found out on Thursday and she called me on Friday to tell me she was pregnant. I'm like, well, guess what? I'm pregnant too. So I'll go more into that. I'll go into more of my aversions and my nausea, and then more into the excitement of I'm having a little niece or nephew the same week that I'm gonna become a mom. So I'll save all that for another video. All right guys, so I had other things that I wanted to do in this video, like go over some things that I've bought already since I found out I was pregnant. But I don't want to, drag the video on and on, so I'll probably save that for my week 8 update. My weeks do roll over on Thursdays. I can't guarantee that you're gonna get a video on Thursdays, but hopefully sometime after the week rolls over, I'll be posting a video for you. So I thank everybody so much for watching and following me so far on my journey. Any questions or comments are always welcome down below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week.